And this episode of the Locked In Podcast with Max and Dave is brought to you by Dugout Sportswear. You can also check them out at dugoutsportswear.com. We also have Winners Bar right there in Port Orange. We will be watching Michael Beast Boy Davis, the one and only from Pete White Boxing and MMA, at Winners Bar. They have an inside and outside location, great drinks, great people. Jeff's the man. And also fit meals. Dimitri will hook you up with the best meals, whether you're trying to lose weight, gain muscle weight, convenience, affordable. myfitmeals.com, and you could start your meal plan today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
I am the greatest.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Sixth NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat.
And we are locked in. Max and Dave here from the Locked In Sports Podcast, available on any podcast platform. Dave the Wave, wearing the Beast Boy t-shirt.
The Beast Boy t-shirt, let's do it. This Saturday night, UFC Fort Lauderdale on ESPN.
Yeah, I know. I cannot wait. Michael putting on Daytona on the map, Orlando, Port Orange, Pete White Boxing and MMA, UFC. It's ESPN 9, Fort Lauderdale. Whew. And he's fighting a legitimate guy. I guess we'll dive right into it. Gilbert Burns, 14-3. Michael Davis, 7-1. And that one loss was a tough fight against Sadiq on the UFC Contender Series. So This is like the cream of the crop in his first his UFC debut, his first fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
He's fighting a killer, savage.
A top 20 lightweight in the world. And what's the best part is Michael Davis isn't even a lightweight. He's a featherweight. So he's going to go for that 145 crown sooner or later. He wants the Zabit fight. He wants the Max Holloway fight. But he gets Gilbert Burns to start it off. Man, Max, I'm so pumped, bro. I am so excited for him. I'm happy just for Mike and for the whole Pete White team. You know, their family to us, Max. It's incredible, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah, and we've been waiting for Michael Davis to be in the UFC for some time now. So to finally see it come to fruition is like a dream come true because he's been destroying, annihilating people.
Yeah.
Everyone he goes up against, whether it's his conditioning, whether it's his striking, his boxing, his Muay Thai, his ground game, his conditioning, his just willpower, he always finds a way to win. And now we get to see it against the best of the best. And what's so cool about this opportunity, we did say how he's a killer, Gilbert Burns. So if he wins this fight, like you said, on short notice, a different weight class.
Yes.
That catapults him. Now, Mike was on the podcast saying Zabit a while ago.
Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy.
No,
I don't think it's crazy.
No, it's not crazy at all. And like I said, he's going to come back down to featherweight. Mm-hmm. So he's got a multiple fight deal with the UFC. And this isn't just a short notice, one-time hit. He's in the UFC. He's locked in. He's locked into the octagon. He's in the cage, and then big things are happening. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good one, and it's at Winners Bar.
We're gonna go to Winners Bar in Port Orange, Florida. We're definitely going that. It's a short notice fight, so it's a short notice for everyone. So we wanted to go to Fort Lauderdale. Trust us, God, we wanted to go so bad, but. Yeah, man, we're going to be able to. It's my son's birthday the next day. We had the party for him this past weekend, so we're doing that. We can't wait, man. I'm excited. I'm not even excited even for Mike, but how about the whole team? The Fusion team in Florida, Mike Perry, Jacare Souza's in the main event. That's going to be a really good middleweight fight. Ben Saunders is fighting. How about Glover Teixeira? I put that thing on Facebook, and people are like, come on, give some Glover Teixeira love. So, of course, man. He'll definitely... Glover, it's a stacked card. That's what Pete was so excited about. He goes, hey, he's just so happy to be on that card. It's loaded with MMA talent.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. And then this week, so you have Michael Davis, which is this Saturday, which is headlining my weekend. Then you have Avengers Endgame. I'm going Thursday night, as soon as it opens, of course. Already got it booked for Saturday, locked in. And then we have Game of Thrones. I won't spoil it for anybody, but Game of Thrones Episode 3, which is obviously Sunday night on the HBO.
Yep.
And that's going to be the battle that we've been waiting for. I'm not saying anyone who died, nothing, no spoilers, but it's going to be like the episode that we've been waiting for all year. Well, yeah, we've been waiting legitimate.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years.
So now you got all that in 1 week on top of the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
It's that time of year.
It is. It's the best, Cuzzo. It's the best. And talking about it, can I go left field with you real quick?
It depends.
Bring you in personal with me?
Okay.
So we just got back. You've been in here for the studio for a little bit. It's looking so fresh. Gosh, it's looking good in here, Cuzzo. I love it. I love it. I want to just sell tickets to people to come in and be like, wow, it's like a museum.
Surprise, our next live show. Oh.
So I just came back from a T-ball game. Collins Gators were undefeated, and we played one of the best teams in the league tonight.
Nice.
It was stacked. So we were playing defense first, and in T-ball you get like a 5-run limit. Mm-hmm. So the other team scored 5 runs. They pounded us. It was tough. We just couldn't get outs. We came up, and our offense was the best we've ever done. Like, our offense was incredible. We were hitting doubles, triples. It was awesome. So we scored 5. Then the other team scored 5. But then we scored 4. They got an out with us real late in the inning. So now it's 10-9. They're up. Mm-hmm. You with me? So the last inning comes up, and if they score 5, we lose. We can't win. We only play 3 innings, and if they score 5, we can't score 6 because it's the limit. We shut them down to 3 runs. It was awesome. Our defense was pumped. And it's so cool because, the kids know. The kids get so pumped. They're like, okay, let's go, let's go. They're, running. They can't wait to hit. And it was really cool how our lineup worked out. We had some good hitters up at the right moment. And, we came back. We scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning to win the game. And the last kid, one of our girls, her name is Sky. She was on 3rd base. And she wanted to, get the game-winning run so bad. We only had 1 out, and one of our better hitters were up. I was like, Cal, we need you to hit it far because we need Sky to score. And he was, so excited. I was like,
that's awesome.
And at the end, I was like, don't even worry. Just have fun. Just go for it. That's what I want to tell Mike Davis. When you bet before you go in the octagon, have fun. Nerves are going to be there for sure, dude. If we start talking Fort Lauderdale, 17,000 people, first time for Fox Sports 1, nerves are going to get to us. But at the end of the day, because we just got to be us. We got to have fun. That's what I want Mike to do. Have fun. Throw. I want to see some crazy kicks. I want to see you grapple. I want to see you have fun, Beast Boy. Let's get that win. Take it back.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. That's an awesome story. All right, before we get into the Raptors game that I was able to talk to, I got a surprise left fielder for you, too.
Yes!
That's how we do it.
I love it.
All right, so we disagree about LeBron being the best in the world, and that's cool. If you say Kevin Durant, 100% cool with it. I get it. If you say Giannis, I get it. Even if you say Steph Curry, I get it. I'm not going to argue with you. It's just agree to disagree. I still think it's LeBron. I don't give one season of bad, 27, 8, and 8, but he didn't make the playoffs. It was a bad year. I'm not just saying he's not the best player anymore after 15 years of just straight dominance. I'm going to say next year, if it's more of the same, then yeah, you're right. He's no longer the best player, but I'm at least going to give him that year. So
just real quick, don't you usually too are like this when you kind of want to be ahead of the curve a little bit?
Yeah, and that's why I think everyone's going the way of he's no longer the best in the world, and I think I'm being ahead of the curve by saying he still is, because I think next year it's like, oh, wait a second. If Kevin Durant's in the Knicks, or if Kevin Durant is somewhere else, and you're like, he's not actually as dominant as we thought he was, because he's still really good, amazing. He can shoot, he can make all these shots, but it's like, oh wait, he doesn't have Klay Thompson on his right, and he doesn't have Steph Curry on the left. Wait, he doesn't have Boogie Cousins down low, and then Draymond, who's tough. Wait, he doesn't have the greatest team ever anymore? It's Durant back in OKC where he actually has to handle all the media obligations. He has to handle everything. He has to handle all the criticism. He has to put the team on his back. He has to be the vocal leader. So that's why I'm just being a little hesitant. So with all that being said, I came out with my top 5 NBA players list because there's just such a discrepancy between everybody.
Oh, wait. You did a list?
Yeah, I did a list.
Gosh, I love it. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
So my number 1 is still LeBron James, and I just went on that spiel, so agree or disagree on that one. LeBron's my number 1. Number 2 is 100% Kevin Durant. Just off, 7-footer, can do everything. He can shoot threes, pull-ups, finish, defend, everything. So Kevin Durant is my number 2. Giannis is my number 3. What's stopping him from being number 2 or 1 is one, playoff success. I just want to see what he can do with this Milwaukee team, which we both believe, you got me on the train, that he can go to the finals. So I have to see playoff success because you could be great in the regular season, but you have to deliver when it's most important.
Great point.
And he has to. The reason why he's not better than Kevin Durant is he has to be able to shoot. Like, he is dominant. He's a better defender, finish at the rim. He checks every box other than shooting. And in the playoffs, we've seen it. You have to be able to shoot. So I think when he comes to a team that has a great coach, a great game plan, they collapse the paint, you have to be able to knock down that outside shot. So I'm still not 100% sold on him, number 1. So he's my number 3.
Okay, well, that's great. Number 3 is great. The third best player in the world.
Exactly. I'm being a little hard on him. So number 4 is Steph Curry. Let's not forget about the best shooter in the game, best ball handler in the game, arguably the best passer in the game, IQ, leadership. So number 4 is Steph. Our guy Rashad has him 2 or 1. So 4. 5 was like super difficult for me because you could think James Harden, right? Obviously, 36 per game.
Oh, yeah.
MVP.
Okay.
Anthony Davis. I mean, he's injury prone, but everyone loves Anthony Davis because two-way player, the way he impacts the game. My number 5 is Kawhi Leonard over James Harden. And just because what he could do both ends. And obviously, I knew this going into the game when I was able to cover the Raptors Magic, but seeing it in person, he literally can – I don't think he elevates others as much as James Harden because James Harden's a more gifted passer. He's also in a really great system for his style of play. But I really love the way Kawhi Leonard can play both ends. And he doesn't settle for a bad shot. Like, he's just so creative and smart where the three's not there, the mid-range is not there. I'm going to keep dribbling, keep spinning, keep utilizing my body and my skills to get an easy layup. And I just love that type of player, and I don't think this is his limit. I think if he goes to a Clippers, I mean, he probably doesn't go to Los Angeles, but if he were to go to Los Angeles and he were alongside LeBron, so I don't know if he's like he has the talent of a number 1, but not the leadership of the number 1. Like, I love his poise and his compassion for the game. Great person.
Okay.
But to be a leader, he has to probably be a little more vocal.
And that's what, remember the Zion Williamson episode we were talking about, like kind of Luka Doncic and Zion. Sometimes you need, like, Zion's probably the better player, but Luka's probably the team leader. A little bit of Steph and Clay, KD. Okay.
And then James Harden's my 6, just to let you know. I don't have him far.
You got to have top 5. You went to 6?
I have 10 right here.
No. All right. So, wow. So you did it. When you were writing it, when you were talking, I was writing mine. So yours was LeBron 1, KD 2, Giannis 3, Steph 4, and Kawhi 5.
Yeah.
That's a great list.
Thank you.
That's really good. Okay, you ready for mine?
Yep.
Number 1 best player in the world is Giannis.
Okay.
The Greek Freak. I just think he is in his prime. He's playing the 80 games a year.
It's true.
He's on the first seed in the East, which was much better with Boston, Toronto, and Philly. With, I'm just going to call it out, probably the weakest surrounding team around a top 5-6 team in the league. There's no guaranteed all-star on the team for next year. There's no Hall of Famer on that team at all. It's Giannis and a bunch of good players, good coaching.
Good point.
I love their chemistry. I love their mojo. I got Giannis, the best player in the world right now.
It's hard to argue.
Okay. Number 2, you're number 2, Kevin Durant. Love him. If there's a minute and 50 seconds left and you're down by 3 or 5, I would even pick Durant over Giannis because I just want Durant having the ball, dribble, shoot threes, foul shots, layups. I want Durant. He's to me, the best overall offensive player, the best scorer in the world. He can get his bucket whenever.
Ever.
Wow. That's a whole other debate. That's a whole other conversation.
Score.
Okay, so we agree with 2. That's funny. Okay, so your third was Giannis. You 1 was LeBron. Okay, so my third, Steph Curry.
Oh my God.
I love me some Steph Curry. I kind of want to switch him and Durant because I'm usually a Steph Curry guy, but Steph Curry is number 3, the most underrated, greatest player of all time. Steph Curry going to win another championship. Number 4. So your number 4 was Harden?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. So I flip-flop. Oh, no, you had Harden at 6. I got James Harden at number 4.
So does LeBron play in the NBA anymore? Like, is he?
Well, not in the postseason. He doesn't play.
Is he just done? Like, he just doesn't play anymore?
Maybe. Michael Jordan was in top 5 in Washington. So, James Harden, the best scorer alive today, gets you 36 a game. Houston was struggling. Houston had a lot of injuries with Chris Paul. James Harden is the 4th best player in the world. So, number 5, I'm not going to lie to you, I scraped it off 3 times. LeBron doesn't make it. If you can't make it in the postseason, you don't get in my top 5.
Oh, my God.
I had Kawhi Leonard in that spot, and I scraped him, not even just because you said him at number 5. The thing I'm going to take away from Kawhi is I just don't like his games. 20 games a year he took off, and he was never really hurt. It was a load management. Imagine if Toronto's got a really good surrounding team and really good players around him and a good system. If he was on a different team, those 20 games, maybe he's not in the playoffs. Like LeBron missed 20, 25 games. They didn't make the playoffs. Yeah. So I think I take that away from him. He's lucky that he's in a great system. So I didn't put him in. You ready? You're going to be like, Dave, prisoner of the moment. I'm doing it. You ready? The 5th best player in the world, been underrated for a minute.
Oh, Lord. Damian Lillard. The Portland Trailblazers have been the 3 seed in the West 2 years in a row. He gets no love, no respect. The man can shoot from distance. He takes over a team. I love his it factor. He's a great player. You hear any nonsense from Damian Lillard ever, Max? I hear nonsense from David Van Auken right now.
Oh, my gosh.
I love Damian, but come on.
LeBron is this and LeBron.
So Damian's better than LeBron James.
Right now in 2019, yes, sir. He's playing. He's about to win a playoff series, Max. The Oklahoma City Thunder was statistically a favorite going into this postseason. They were supposed to beat Portland the 6-3. They're about to upset them. And, bro, are you ready for this one? Lock this in. Portland's going to beat whoever wins out of the next series, Denver and San Antonio.
Yeah, I agree.
So if Portland makes it to the Western Conference Finals, which their center just got hurt.
I agree. Yeah, I think I love Dame. I love Dame.
So okay, if you love him, you can't just hate on it.
I'm not hating. He's not better than LeBron. That's not being a hater. It's just being realistic. You're a prisoner of the moment.
I haven't seen LeBron play basketball in weeks. I don't even know who he is. Does he play basketball?
You're
or does
like
he shoot movies?
Typical 2019 guy right now, Dave. Come on now. You can't just say this movie's the best. It's like he went to 8 straight finals, and that's the past. Yeah, last year. So because he didn't go to the finals this year, the playoffs this year, he's just done. Guarantee you this all changes. But
Max, be the honest truth. You ready?
Sure.
Is your hand on the Bible?
It's somewhere. It's on the locked-in book.
What's going to be the best movie of all time?
Okay, that's just because it's my favorite. Avengers Endgame.
It hasn't even came out yet.
I know that though.
But so you can't be a prisoner of the moment in movies, but I can't be in basketball?
First of all, 2 different things, and one is Marvel already has a history of being great. Damian Lillard is more like
that's where I disagree. So I get what you're saying. LeBron's history is 10 times better than all these guys we just named. But you can't, sooner or later, it's 2019. You're asking me the best players alive right now. You didn't say, Dave, who's the best for the decade, or who's the best all time?
What does Damian Lillard do better? Shoot and ball handle. What else?
Win.
Dave, come on now. You're not going to count injury. Okay, so in that case, I'm thinking Siakam's better than LeBron James. I think Kyrie Irving's better than LeBron. No. Wait. So Kyrie. Siakam has been awesome. I'm going to get to that.
Siakam.
So Kyrie Irving's better than LeBron, right? Because he can shoot, he can handle, and he won.
It's arguable. Yeah.
I'm going to say that Paul George is better than LeBron. Let me say Ben Simmons is LeBron because he won and he's younger and it's 2019. Oh, and then let me say Jimmy Butler is better than LeBron James.
Now you're wait. You're going too far.
I'm just saying can't just say off. Oh, so if it's off this season.
Well, that's what you said. You said 2019, Max.
I know, but you're saying if you don't win this season, you're just not great. And that's just, I couldn't disagree more.
The 8th best player in the world's not great?
LeBron James went from number 1 for like 15 years to just 8. Yeah, that's not great in his standards.
Well, Tiger Woods went to number 1, the greatest golfer in the history of the world, and some people argue Jordan better than LeBron. Look, Tiger, there's no question he's the greatest golfer ever. 1 year he went to 1 to like 40.
Well, that's a different sport, 1. And 2 is...
How many examples you want?
It's because of what you're judging it off of. This year's playoffs is why he's not number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. You have Damian Lillard better than him because he's in the playoffs and LeBron's not. There's 2 things he does better, and that's it.
Not even in the playoffs. The whole season. And, Matt, you got to include injuries. That's a part of the game. If there's no better ability than availability. if he doesn't play games, if he only plays 58 games, that counts against him, right?
But didn't you just say Kawhi Leonard missed games?
Yeah, and
20
that's why he
games?
didn't make my 5. He was actually 6 in my book.
But that's still above LeBron.
He played more games than LeBron. But his team won more. And
God, I couldn't
Max,
disagree more.
Who's a better defender right now, Kawhi Leonard or LeBron James?
Kawhi's been for the last 3 years.
Okay.
I had LeBron better than him last year.
So I agree with that. But his offense and his wooden ability, to me, Kawhi Leonard cannot go to Cleveland and take that team what LeBron did.
No.
He cannot. So I had LeBron better. But this year, Kawhi switched teams, switched conferences, and his team was the number 2 seed in the East.
But you're taking that out of context. What did he get? What did he inherit? A great young coach, Kyle Lowry. Siakam has been the most improved player of the year.
Really good
Serge Ibaka.
They're good.
Marc Gasol. So it's not like he just went to some bum team. He went to a great environment.
I agree with you.
If you put LeBron in Toronto, they'd make the playoffs too.
I would think so, yes. Absolutely. So, but that's not the situation they're in. All I can say is what happened this year. That's all I can say.
So when LeBron goes to the playoffs next year, second round, maybe even Western Conference Finals, is he still the 8th best player?
No, he moves up. Why can't people move up and down?
God.
So
you're going to
is
fluctuate.
Patrick Mahomes the best quarterback in the world?
But wait, so you're going to fluctuate your list.
Absolutely. It's a year-to-year list.
I have no problem fluctuating your list, but you're going it off of just strictly recent events.
No, I'm sure
Kobe
not this
Bryant
year.
wouldn't go to the finals, but Kobe Bryant was still better than a lot of the players that you may have listed above him because he didn't go to the finals. Like I don't agree with your premise.
Okay. Well, it's not just making it to the finals. If Kobe had a bad team around him for those 2 years, and everyone still thought Kobe was top 5, but he didn't win no MVP talks at all because he didn't make the playoffs. He wasn't an all-NBA player anymore. He was like a second because usually if you're an all-NBA player, you reach the playoffs, right? Like, you don't see a team... Is Anthony Davis going to be an all-NBAer this year?
No.
He didn't make the playoffs, and he was injury-prone this year. That's all I'm saying. Like, 2 years ago, Anthony Davis was a first-team All-NBA.
But I don't judge first-team All-NBA as the best 5 anymore either, because there's a certain way that they judge it. And there's been years that people have been over Curry. And Curry's better than a lot of those players that's been on there. You're going to have to put Joel Embiid on there because you have to have a center position.
I'm not saying
but if you're judging the all-time 5, Steph Curry, does Steph Curry make the All-NBA team this year?
He might, actually.
But he may not. But he's certainly the best point guard in the league.
No, Max, I agree. I'm not saying it's 100 or 0. There's gray in the world, right? I'm not saying it's just black or white. So playoffs counts a little bit. All NBA team counts a little bit. Availability counts a little bit. How you played on defense this year counts a little bit. How you are in the locker room, leadership counts a little bit. All these little things I'm adding 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. And to me, not to fluctuate a list, Patrick Mahomes...
I never said you can't fluctuate the list.
Like in football, Patrick Mahomes was the 27th best quarterback. People think he's the best now. He was remarkable this year. He was the MVP.
If you don't fluctuate your list, it'd be the same every week, every year. So of course you do. But I think you're being a prisoner of the moment because Damian Lillard is cooking your boy Russell Westbrook, so all of a sudden he's better than LeBron James.
Russell's a great human being.
He's a great person, great human being.
3 years in a row.
Love the triple-double.
Triple-double,
3 years in a row, get out in the first round.
My gosh, he made the playoffs. LeBron didn't even make it.
He made 8 finals, that's right.
You win that one.
What's really funny is that I called it at the beginning of the season. He's going to deteriorate. No, come on now.
You can't deteriorate and average a triple-double.
If you played in the YMCA league and 1 year you were like averaging 25, your field goal percentages were legitimate. The next year, your points go down. Your field goal percentage goes down. Your 3-point percentage goes down. Your turnovers go down. And to give you the exact amount, 25 points to 22 points. 45% field goal percentage-wise to 42% field goal percentage-wise. 30% three-point percentage-wise to 28% three-point percentage-wise. His free throws go down every year, but it went from 74 to 65. His turnovers increased. It's just time to admit it. You want to be a prisoner of the moment with LeBron. It's time to realize this guy deteriorates. Allen Iverson deteriorated quickly. So did Dwayne Wade just because of...
Wait.
Dwayne Wade had more self-awareness.
Wait.
My whole point is his style of play is all gas, no brakes. And like a car, if you drive it hard, you have to take it to the shop quicker because you have to conserve what you have. If you slam on your brakes at every red light and then you hit the gas every red light... Trust me, I know. I had to go to Richie. I had to go to Firestone also before... And they say, you're driving hard, I can tell. You're wearing out your tires. You're hitting the gas, and then you're slamming the brakes. That's what Russell Westbrook does, and that's just not sustainable all the time. And it gets to the point where he's fatigued and exhausted in the playoffs. And he's so caught up in his ego. People are so caught up in the triple-doubles, he's losing already in the first round in the playoff series that he was favorited at, and he's having a personal matchup with Damian Lillard instead of worrying about winning the game.
Wait, you said Richie? You mean like Edgewater Cycle and Power Sports? Give him a call, Max. 386-314-2122.
I will.
That's 386-314-2122. All right, back to the... Okay, I had such a great rebuttal. So, you just mentioned all these Russell Westbrook stats that he was lower this season to last season. Is that correct?
Yes.
So Russell Westbrook, the man who averaged a triple-double 3 years in a row, had a lesser triple-double, a weaker triple-double with field goal percentage and turnovers and stuff like that. Did he have a worse season than the year before?
What's funny is I didn't judge any of those categories besides points per game off his triple-double. I didn't judge his triple-double. What I judged was his field goal percentage, because as a point guard, and you see it all the time in the playoffs just very quickly, as a point guard, you have to be able to shoot, you have to be able to adapt, and you have to be able to elevate others, have self-awareness, be coachable, and score on the perimeter in 2019. So what I did is I called you out on how I would assess a point guard if I was a scout. If you and I were a GM, I didn't even bring up the rebounds or the assists. I brought up his points as a scorer, went down.
Sure.
Brought up his three-point percentage. He's the worst three-point shooter in the league for those that qualify. And his free throw percentage went down drastically. So when you attack the rim, you're not shooting that at an efficient level at all. You're actually below average. You're a D. And then you turn over the ball a lot. That's what I assessed it on. The triple-double is great. That's his legacy. His legacy won't be, if he's a most valuable player, and according to your top 5 list, I'm sure he's your number 1 at a point because of the playoffs and how it matters so much, then how does he keep getting out in the first round 3 years in a row if he's the most valuable player?
All right, Max, you ready? I'm using your words. You know LeBron James' points went down this year?
What, 28, 27?
27.5, 27.4. It went down.
Really, Dave? 0.1, Dave? Come on. Get out of here.
54 to 51. His 3-point percentage went down. So all the things...
You're talking about 54 to 51.
Yeah.
So you're literally going to nitpick the cream of the crop. I'm not even talking about... If it was
But you're saying he's the best player alive. All of his stats, he deteriorated.
And he's still the best, because that's how ahead of the competition he was.
Bro,
you're literally
82
nitpicking.
to 55 games?
Want to know what it sounds like? It sounds like you're on the cruise complaining about the meatloaf. It's a first world problem. I wish I was complaining to Russell Westbrook about a 54 to 51. I'm saying 42%, not from 3, from the field. That's awful.
Max, I wish I was complaining about LeBron in his postseason, but he didn't make it.
8 straight finals. He's a little tired. Russell Westbrook, don't get out in the first round 3 years in a row. You'll know.
But you're battling... I'm not battling LeBron to Westbrook. LeBron is better than Westbrook.
You compared it, not me.
No, my point. I didn't say compare them to. I'm comparing. You said that you were disappointed that Westbrook went down at these levels, these numbers.
I'm not disappointed. It's what I expected.
Okay, you expected. But LeBron went all down in those levels too. And you didn't expect that, for one, I don't think. And two, if those things were so important to you about Westbrook, why are they not important to LeBron?
Well, when you go to the finals 8 straight years, that you have leeway. Dave, if you went and sold 8 great items, the 9th one you kind of whiff on, you just sold 8 great items. I'll give you that. But if you whiff on 4 in a row, I'm going to judge you a little harder on that 5th one. Hey, listen, man, I see this a reoccurring issue. If your son comes home, all A's on a report card 8 years in a row, the 9th time he's like, hey, yeah, I got a B+. Okay, then we probably need to focus on that a little bit harder. But if he keeps getting Ds, come on now.
For one, Max, a guy getting triple doubles.
I'm not talking about the triple double.
Like,
I'm talking about his field goal percentages. He's a great player.
He's not a D. Like,
I never say he's a D player.
You just said a D. I thought you were.
These are D stats. 65% is a D.
I don't think it's a D.
That's literally a D. 6C is 70 and above.
And I always do this. I use your words, not mine. If your kid got straight A's and then came home with a B plus that year, it's okay. He's still a great kid, and he's still a very smart kid. But that year, there was another kid in school that got an A, so he's a valedictorian that year, not my son or your son. So my point is, LeBron is still amazing, and he was great for 8 years. He wasn't great. He was iconic. He was legendary. He was the best player. Maybe you could argue not argue. I will say this. I think LeBron's last 8 years was the best 8-year run in NBA history. Jordan couldn't do it. Magic couldn't do it. Bill Russell couldn't do it. I think it was an all-time historic 8 years to do it on two different teams, to do it with, I will call, a top 3 worst organization in the world. But this season, I can only rate LeBron on this season. Maybe next year it goes up or down or stays the same. I don't know. But this season, he's not a top 5 player. He's definitely not the best player in the world. His stats, his games, and his wins does not recognize best player in the world to me.
But you're getting a little off topic, though, because that's not even what my point was. My point is
I was just going to the very thing you started on.
But my thing is like, I think there's a time where you do look back in history and you learn from your past, and you also have to take it into context. And I think there's times you don't. And like, this is an example with LeBron where I think you do, because if a pilot lands a plane 9 out of 10 times, great. I'm going to trust him for that 10th time because he has a resume of landing it very well.
But if he crashes, we all die, Max. LeBron crashed this year.
What I'm saying is I'm looking at his history as a pilot. So that's when you're supposed to look at the history. LeBron James has made 8 straight finals.
Yeah.
He had a rough one. I would invest more in LeBron than I would in Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has a bad history.
I agree with that. There's no disagreement.
That's my point is, even though you don't want to...
We're not arguing Westbrook and LeBron. We're not arguing that. The start of this whole conversation, you had a great top 5 list. And how is LeBron number 1?
Because to me, missing the playoffs, I'll take all the data, and one outlier isn't going... And that's just in math and statistics. When I took statistics, one outlier doesn't represent the whole solution. An outlier is an outlier. Now, if that outlier becomes a reoccurring thing in the formula, then you're like, okay, hey, this isn't just an outlier anymore. This is the new data.
I get what you're saying, but what you're not saying, if your phrase was, who's the best basketball player alive?
LeBron James. I wholeheartedly believe that because he had his first injury. It's all of a sudden he's just done. I'm not on that bandwagon. Like I said, if next year, I'm more than willing to say he's not the best player, but I have to give it to more than just one outlier. He's had 16 years. Well, this was his 16th season. 15 years of not this. So once next year happens and something reoccurs like this, okay, he's no longer the best. But I can't let one outlier decide that.
It's a NBA. Average NBA career is like 6.7 seasons. Mm-hmm. LeBron's had 16. The guys in this draft, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, the 3 bros in Miami, the 3 Musketeers.
Yeah.
Bosh retired 2 years ago. Wade's retiring this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, Max, it's father time, bro.
No, you're right. He definitely shows age. Yeah.
That's what. If this was 8 years ago, I'd be like, no, he's still in his prime, and he lost to the Magic in the second round one year. I'm like, no, next year he's still the best player alive. He's come back, but going in, I'm using history of 100 years of the NBA that a player in year 16 that has a down season doesn't come back for year 17.
How about this? Let's go. Okay, I'll take that, which is true.
Okay.
What player in history has been the best in year 15? One.
LeBron.
So I'm going to take him. Because he's already defied it once. Why wouldn't I use that again?
Because you can't. So in 22 years, he's going to be the best player in the world. Sooner or later, it has to end.
No, it's reasoning. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just 1 year. That's it. I'm just talking about 1 year. I'm not talking about 3 years from now. I'm talking about right now. And
I know. But 1 year, this is the year the fall off happens. It happens for everyone.
How do you know that for certain? Because we haven't seen next year. Don't we have to see how he bounces back?
No, sure. But this season of 2019, he's not the best player. You have to recall, be like, hey, if Drew Brees has a really bad season this year and the Saints don't make the playoffs and he's had a bad year, people would think that Brees is not going to bounce back because he to me, a lot of people think he should be retired already. Like, his career is an all-timer, and Drew Brees has to come down. Like, he's going to retire next season, the year after that. Like, it's got to happen. So you got to put in effect his age is a part of his him moving forward. His body is not going to get better.
When Muhammad Ali won the title, then he had the whole issue with Vietnam. He got the title stripped away from him. He was technically out of his prime because he missed those key prime years as a champion. He was the underdog against George Foreman. He wasn't supposed to beat George Foreman, but he beat George Foreman. And you're like, well, history says that he's not going to beat George Foreman. The statistics don't say he's going to beat George Foreman. He just took all this time off because of legal reasons, the court issues, the Vietnam. But for some reason, he was still the best boxer in the world, and he proved it that night. Just sometimes all-time greats just get to the point where it doesn't make sense. It goes against history, but because they have one fall-off doesn't define their career. Sometimes that's what makes them have their greatest achievements. So I'm
not defining his career.
No. But what I'm saying is this 1 year doesn't all of a sudden mean he's done. It doesn't just cap off his career as the best player. Next year, it may. If that's a reoccurring thing, if he gets back in the ring and loses, he's pretty much done. He's not the best player anymore. But who says he can't come back and still do that?
He could.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I'm
not
just
for
not
82 games. Like, he's just, to me, there's 0% chance he comes back as the best player in the world.
We'll see.
And that's that's great about the Locked In podcast. Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree.
We will see. I'm telling you.
I'll put $10 million on it right now.
You have $10 million?
Not that much.
I'll say the AC's not working that well in here, and you got $10 million.
God dang it, Dave. Spend $350, get a little AC.
No, but guys, I do want to play this quick clip. I was able to speak to Kawhi Leonard, and I was able to speak to Marc Gasol against the Raptors and the Orlando Magic. Yes, they defeated the Orlando Magic.
Obviously, no stranger to the postseason. Is there a big difference between the way the playoffs is played in the Eastern Conference compared to the Western Conference that you've noticed?
No, I haven't noticed yet. Still basketball. Each team is trying to win each game. It's the playoffs.
Coach talked about.
And here we go. Go ahead, Dave.
And here is my man, Marc Gasol.
This team has all the ingredients to make a deep postseason run. What has it been like playing with these guys here in Toronto so far?
Game four. We gotta. We played well tonight for stretches. We saw some different things they try to do to us. So it's a matter of improving those spacing wise and getting rid of that ball and get moving and more actions. I thought defensively we did a pretty good job for most of the game. Obviously at the end things got a little out of control and they made some tough shots. But that's all that matters. Game four, nothing else matters really. How much?
Man, Max, those interviews were great. Marc Gasol and Kawhi Leonard for the Toronto Raptors, who will defeat the Orlando Magic. Hey, Pete Zachary, you owe me something. And also, I can't wait. They're going to play probably Philly in the next round.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like I said, just seeing Kawhi up in person. I know you hear all the things about how he's very quiet and just such a nice guy, and you really do see that he is all about basketball, just from his routine. So one thing I absolutely love about doing this is seeing the routines of the players and how they warm up. Obviously, Steph Curry's is the most entertaining, but he was like, everyone shoots a three right away almost. It's like, okay, yeah, we'll warm up, and then let me shoot a couple threes. Kawhi didn't shoot a three until like 25, 30 minutes into his warm-up. He's like strictly fundamentals. He's like that old guy in the gym where it's just like straight mid-range, go slow, move, and then he went out to the three. He's the real deal. I was impressed with him.
Man. We're talking about an Endgame, Game of Thrones, NBA basketball postseason, Mike Davis, UFC Saturday night, Fort Lauderdale, because of Thursday night NFL draft.
I just want to say one last thing. I'm sorry.
Sure, no problem.
Siakam. I'm telling you, this guy is. I'm not saying he's going to be the next best player.
Okay.
He's nice. Like, I looked him up because they split it up. Some of the players were in the draft room, and then Kawhi and Marc came out right here and in front of the locker room. I didn't get to speak to him. He went from like 7 points per game to 17 this season, like a 10-point jump.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, he's been. And I know it's the Orlando Magic round one.
No, sure, he's been great.
No, yeah, he's been great, and he's young too. He's under 25 years old. So the fact that he's developed this quickly, I'm excited to see if he could take that next step. Because could that be a big proponent for Kawhi to stay? Like, I know we all think he's assuming that he's going, and I would still lean that way.
Sure,
but if you have a young kid who's still developing and growing in the East, I'm just saying, I think it's something that people aren't really. Because he's not a flashy big player.
Yeah,
he has a hard name to say.
He's very quiet, too.
Yeah, he's very quiet.
Not even that. I'm the exact opposite. Wow. I think Kawhi goes and Siakam takes that spot.
Good point.
He becomes the new team leader for Toronto, and they keep Lowry, they keep all the supporting players, they keep Marc Gasol, and Siakam becomes probably their best player, their kind of go-to guy. And next year, 22, 23 points a game.
Yeah, Siakam's legit, man. He's just so long. He has like a 9-foot wingspan, something crazy.
What's his ceiling to you? Like, what's a player? What could he be? What's in 2 more years when he reaches his pinnacle? Who is he?
Ooh, good word. I think he's like a 23-point per game guy. And if I had to give a comparison, that's a tough one because he's so lanky. Mm-hmm. So it's like I don't want to just say some shooting guard on the wing who gives you 23. I don't know. You're going to have to give me time on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's I don't want to say like Paul George, but I want to say
Tobias Harris?
Yeah, but I think he could be better than Tobias.
Wow. Okay, that's high praise. Tobias is a really good player. Going to get max money.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
You think he gets max money?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
100%. I know we're supposed to go into the NFL, but I don't think it's 100, right?
Oh, for one, I think Jimmy Butler is 98% gone. So then
I see that.
Philly becomes desperate and want to keep him, and you give him max money.
He's not a max guy, though.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree. He's the 56th best player in the world. He shouldn't get max money.
Yeah, that's right. He's 56 on my list.
And then not even that. Or it's the teams like, Brooklyn that has tons of money. Or just say Durant doesn't go to New York. And Kemba doesn't go to New York. And you have max money. It's like, hey, Tobias, come to New York. We got to get someone. And they have tons of money, so you got to spend it.
Wow, so he's making some bank next year.
Yeah, he's going somewhere. How about a team like the same thing? Whatever Kawhi stays in Toronto.
Goes back to the Clippers? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Tobias for max money. Wouldn't that be cool?
But anyway, so yeah, we do have the NFL draft Thursday night.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about this.
All right, what's your first take on it? It's like last year was the quarterback rich deep draft at Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
This year is not Kyle Murray's like the headliner as far as just flashy name, but what would be the other guy that sticks out to you that you're most interested in?
Devin Bush. Middle linebacker, Michigan. He's whatever team he goes to, he's just going to be an automatic stud. Change the defense of a team for the better. That's my guy. Devin Bush. I think in a lot of mock drafts, he's like in the teens, 12, 14, 16, 17. I think he goes top 10. That good. Like, I think he's above. And it's just one of those drafts. I think there's going to be a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Because the quarterbacks, there's two with Haskins and Murray, probably top 10. Someone could fly up there. And that's, for me, I'm a Buffalo Bill fan. They picked 9. And we need an offensive lineman to help Josh Allen. That's what you do when you get a quarterback. You protect him,
right?
So at number 9, I'll be happy if they stay there and get an offensive lineman. But I wouldn't be mad if someone wants to jump up in this draft and we trade our pick. Do the New England Patriots and just move down and get tons of picks, tons of draft capital, and move past it.
Do you think the Cardinals do draft Kyle Murray, or do you think they stay with Josh Rosen?
I think they stay with Josh Rosen.
I think they should.
This whole Murray thing, to me, this is where this, and hey, I could be wrong. This is just one man's opinion.
Okay.
They've been throwing out the Kyler Murray name out there, hoping a team that the Giants
trade for.
Yes, Denver at 10.
My Giants
the
wouldn't
Bengals
grab Tom Brady if they could.
First pick of the draft. Nope, we don't want Patrick Mahomes. We'll pick an offensive tackle.
Oh, God, I hope they get Haskins. I really do.
Yeah, you'd be thrilled.
Like you said, quarterback.
Yep.
And then it's like O-line, get their quarterback type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the quarterback. I don't think we really grab their quarterback well. Don't have the best O-line. So it's like, let's just focus on – I like Saquon Barkley, don't get me wrong. And, of course, we got rid of Odell, which sucks. But I just want a quarterback, man. It's just so sad. I feel like there's just not good management. Or it's not necessarily bad management. I just think it's like old school management where it's like sometimes you have to adapt. It's like you have to learn, you have to grow. And it's like we've been saying in all podcasts, it's where you can't live in the past. And sometimes you do live in the past. They're stuck in the past. Like Eli's won the Super Bowls. He's been paid. It's like it's time to move on. I don't know why it's so hard for them to move on.
I know. It's crazy. My one kind of out there call that no one said. No one's saying this, and I love doing it. It's I'm going out on a cloud, and no one needs to come with me. That's fine, because if I'm right, I'm better than everyone in the world.
Okay, that's fair.
There's quarterbacks. Nick Bosa is a beast. He's going to be picked 1, 2, or 3. Josh Allen, the kid from Kentucky, a rush. He's a monster. I love me some Quinnen Williams. He's the defensive tackle for Alabama. He's going to get picked in the top 5. But the one thing no one's saying, the New York football Jets, they got Sam Darnold. They got Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
They got a couple stud defenders.
Yeah.
I would do what the Colts did and overdraft an offensive lineman early. Everyone thought the Colts were crazy for picking Quentin Nelson 6.
Now you're going to land one.
You pick that guy, and now you protect Luck. Luck makes Eric Ebron better. The running back's better. The whole team is better. The Colts are going to be dangerous this year, Max. They could win the AFC. I'm so pumped on the Colts.
They have a high ceiling.
They're huge. So I think the Jets are going to shock the football world and draft an offensive lineman at number 3.
That would be genius. That would be, especially for a young quarterback.
Thank you.
Like, that would be genius. I don't know why more people don't do it.
You would make Darnold better. You would make the wide receivers better. Le'Veon Bell is there.
I'm going to say Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, I think no one's calling that. Every mock draft has a defensive player there at number 3. Everyone.
Can I go with you to Cloud9?
Maybe.
All right. Another thing that I don't think anyone's questioning, it's just kind of like a given. Do you think Le'Veon Bell has a crazy productive year?
Yes.
Like, because I think he does, but like, is it 100% like locked in? Like, yeah, he's definitely going to have a productive year. Or, I mean, a year off, it could be really beneficial, but could I just play devil's advocate and say that could kind of hurt you? You're out of rhythm. If you did gain a little weight, I think he's going to have a great year. I'm just saying, is it 100% locked in? It's given that he's going to be great?
To me, if he's on the field, he's going to be 100% great.
It's just the off-field antics is what's...
No, not even off-field antics. It's, like you said, being out of the football and being hit for a year. Maybe your body is not used to it anymore. Maybe you pull a hamstring because your body wasn't so inclined for the whole season. So if he's playing football, if he's healthy, I think he's going to be great because... To me, Sam Darnold will feed the ball to even Le'Veon Bell, maybe even more than Ben Roethlisberger.
No, I think so.
I think I'm excited to be a Le'Veon Bell fan, fantasy football fan, a New York Jet fan. Darnold to Bell, woo, dangerous.
Okay, Baker. I had an off-script basketball question for you, by the way, but please go all in on the draft if there's a couple more points Dave Van Auken needs to hit.
No, I love the draft. It's this Thursday.
I'm going to miss it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll record it, of course, but the Avengers Endgame is going to be great.
And I'm excited to see what the Patriots do. If they move up, there's a couple good tight ends out there in the draft this season. I'm excited. It's a big time defensive side of their draft this year,
which is fun.
Yeah, it's not like sexy. It's not the quarterbacks and wide receivers and Saquon Barkley in fantasy football, so you don't get that. But it's
without those guys, there's no them.
Yeah, you're building a team. So I'm pumped. I hope Buffalo drafts an offensive lineman or trade back. I'm interested to see where. And here's another good point. Here's kind of like a broad subject, and if you want to dive in, we can. If not, and you'd be like, okay, cool. The quarterback, something like a stat of in the last 25 years, there's never been 25 teams that think that they have their franchise quarterback. Like they use the 25 and 25. Almost every team in the league thinks they have their guy,
which is awesome.
It's amazing for the league, especially down franchises like the Jets. Cleveland, Buffalo.
Baker,
they
Allen.
have like these young quarterbacks from last year.
Yeah.
You got to think of like all these divisions and people like Rivers, Roethlisberger, Breeze, Brady, all are still hanging on. And then you have all those middle guys of Jimmy G and Matt Staffords and Matt Ryans and Carson Wentz.
Cam.
They're just everywhere. Cam, Dax. There's just their quarterbacks everywhere.
And then you got, of course, the Mahomes, the Wentz.
Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson.
Deshaun Watson.
Your boy Watson.
So I could say that makes the league better than it's ever been. But what does that say for the people who don't have their franchise quarterback like not New England, but the New York Giants?
Yeah, New York Giants. Well, that's what, to me, makes Haskins and Murray even...
more obvious. It's an obvious choice.
Yeah. If they don't draft Haskins at 6, cousin.
I'll try out for the team. I'll do my best. I'll make him laugh a couple times, have a good interview.
Just hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I'll elevate him.
Hey. So, I'm excited. This Thursday night, NFL Draft on it's on ABC.
You're about to say ESPN.
No, that's the Michael Davis Beast Boy fight.
Make sure you check that out. That's going to be so much fun. All right, Dave. Quick off script, and it may be a yes or no answer, or it may be 2
hours of debate.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a yes or no. Is Duke the new Kentucky?
No.
And I agree.
Oh, they're amazing.
But do you think it's gotten to the point where will it hurt Coach K to the point, like, because he's getting these top recruits, and one and done is like the new shtick because that's just the way it is. Players want to get played. You want to get the best players. But Coach K is the type of guy where he develops you. He has a system. Zion Williamson could be the next best player in the NBA, a next all-timer. You and I love him. Tremendous, easily number 1. Then you probably have the number 2, number 3 pick in RJ Barrett, a lottery pick in Cam Reddish, and you still didn't win it. So what makes me think you're going to win it now, even when you had those type of guys? And like they got a top 5, like they got like a number 4. Then they got like a 28, a 23, and like a 32. So they have all like this. They're recruiting big time. But do you ever think?
Always.
But what I'm saying is, do you think they're going to win?
Sure. Yeah.
At the same level they were when they weren't developing them within the program. Like Grayson Allen was 4 years, and then you look at. You don't think that hurts them at all?
No. Tyrus Jones stayed.
Yeah, that's big.
That's big. That's. Especially a point guard, we always say the Michigan State point guard, how he wasn't a great NBA player, but he stayed, and they elevated the team. So Tyrus Jones might be an NBA guy, maybe a bench guy, maybe not, but he will.
Like his brother.
He will elevate Duke next year. Like they'll be really, really good, and I think that'd be really special. I believe that sometimes the best teams don't even win. Like the team of 4 years ago was not better than this year's team. Like the Okafor, the left-handed Winslow, even Grayson Allen came off the bench and they won the championship. So it's just it's not bad luck. It's just they ran into Tom Izzo, Michigan State, and they lost by 2.
Yeah, and
they were that close. And then, to be honest, if they played Virginia in one game right now, everyone picks Duke.
Yeah,
and they won it all. And you got to give credit where they're due. They were. I heard a cool thing, like Virginia, they won, it was from ruin to redemption. Like they were the first number 1 seed to lose to a 16 a year ago and to win it all. Like I never heard that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a good narrative.
Ruin to redemption.
All right. I'm ready to get locked in.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready.
Sure. You want to talk about our amazing Instagram page?
Yeah, you can, first of all, download the podcast on any podcast platform, Locked In with 2 N's, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and then, yes, of course, Instagram, Locked_in, 2 N's, Twitter, Lock_in, 2 N's, Facebook, Locked In 2 N's. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere you can go.
Like the Facebook page because we go live on it all the time. We put videos on it all the time. So make sure you got to like the Locked In Sports Podcast on Facebook and you'll see all the great content.
Yes, sir.
And by the way, I do have a text on my phone about breaking news about Island Fights 56 main event.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I can say it, though, yet.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say it, Max.
You don't have to say it.
Can I show it to you?
Oh, I know.
Can I show it to you?
Very exciting.
Wow.
Very exciting.
Wow. Okay, you get locked in.
All right. My locked in is a personal locked in. It's not a right or wrong. It's not a we'll see. It's not a date stamp. This is the most excited I've been for the second round playoff series in NBA history. I'm just so excited to see Giannis versus Boston, and I'm so excited to see Houston and Golden State, because usually all four of those teams were the teams we thought we'd see in like the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals, but instead we're seeing it in the second round just based off how the seeding is. I can't wait to see if Giannis can be that, because if you have him at number one, and if he got out in the second round, I don't know if he's number one. But if he does, it's like, oh, snap. Okay, he just won the second round. He's going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Houston is better than they were last year. I think so. Golden State's vulnerable right now. I still think they win, but right now, yeah, you still have – do you say Draymond's an all-star?
No.
So you have 3 all-stars on your team.
They're pretty damn
We
good.
thought they had 5.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And now their bench is depleted.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is Houston sneaky. That's all I'm saying. I think Golden State wins it all, but I think people are like, okay, yeah, Golden State's win it all. Can they beat Milwaukee? Can they beat Boston? I think Houston's going to present them a lot of issues. Is my locked in?
Okay. It's funny I talked about that. My dark horse NBA championship team this year is Fear the Deer, the Milwaukee Bucks. I've been on the Locked In podcast for 5 weeks now. Telling you.
He has.
Fear him. All right, my locked in. I'm going to stick in this NFL draft area. Love it. Last year was the first round of the quarterbacks. 5 quarterbacks in the first round. And a lot of people thought this year was not the top heavy, but it was deep.
Yeah.
A lot of people had 4, maybe 5 quarterbacks going in the first round. That's kind of like the synopsis. That's what people think. I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I think I put like the over-under at 3.5, and I almost take under. I think quarterbacks will not go number 1. I think Haskins or Murray, one of them drop. Like everyone has 1 to 6, 1 to 4 in that range. One maybe goes 2, 3, or 6, and then one maybe slips down to 9, 10, 11, like that. And then a couple people have like Will Greer, Daniel Jones, the kid from Duke. There's a kid, Locke. In the teens or even the low 20s, I think only one of them gets drafted. So I just think all the quarterbacks don't go as early as they think. So as an overall NFL draft, quarterbacks slide out of the first round.
Wow, and my Giants don't draft a quarterback.
If I would say right now, no.
My New York Giants did not draft a quarterback. Surprise, surprise.
I really don't. I think they're going to try to put the best team around Eli this year.
Yeah, he's going to take us to the Super Bowl, man.
And if Eli doesn't turn up this year, they move off next year. I think that's what they do.
I just want to be like, hey, Eli doesn't turn out this year. Let's just move on. It's aggravating.
Yeah, it's just like when people think that LeBron's still the best in the world.
Smart people.
So it's time to move on, folks.
Maybe Eli is ready.
Oh, man, what a great show, guys. Definitely, and I'm telling you, copy the link and then text it to a friend. That's what I love. I've been getting them. People's been sliding into the DMs. I love it. Keep it going. Locked In community is strong right now, guys. But this Saturday night, can't say it enough, Michael Beast Boy Davis, Pete White, boxing and MMA family, Fort Lauderdale, UFC, ESPN. We will be at Winter's Bar in Port Orange, Florida. Come out. Come one. Come all. Turn up.
Yeah, join us. Pictures, you name it. Debates.
Yeah.
You want to fight? Grapple? Who knows?
Me and Max will debate our top 5 lists against anyone in the world right there at Winter's Bar. If that's what you want to do, we'll do it.
They don't want it. But like always, guys, stay locked in.